thank
Okay.
you. Great.
Go ahead.
Um, that's awesome. Okay. And yeah, I mean, if you don't mind, I'll just hop right into kind of
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
purpose of me wanting to chat. And I know it's all a story, but I'll still say it anyways. Yeah, I think the last geez, I think the last like 6, 7 years has just been seeking, and it stems from anxiety and depression
Yeah.
and feeling of separateness, and so I kind of got on this like non-duality path again, seemingly six
Yeah.
7 years ago, and have just nonstop been watching YouTube videos and
Yeah.
reading books, and, like doing the whole gamut of things,
Yeah.
and stumbled upon your stuff and other I know you probably don't refer to yourself as a teacher, but other speakers of this subject that I
Yeah.
really think do a great job of sort of cutting through the chatter and
Hmm.
and are very direct. So yeah, yours has been a channel I've been watching for a while, and I don't know. I'm getting to the point, like the last 2 years have been really challenging for me as far as just not shutting up my tendency to figure this out. Like
Yeah.
it feels like it's been very amplified, and I just got to a point like this week, to be transparent with you. It's been the last few days have been pretty tough, and
Yeah.
just feelings of like hopelessness, and I'm never gonna get this, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I'm going crazy, and my life's crumbling, and there's just no
Oh
way.
no.
Yeah, and I know, and again, I know I can't. Like, I know that's really not the case, but it is scary though. Like, I'll be honest.
Oh
It's like
yeah.
I feel
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like what people say the dark night of the soul is. It
Yeah.
feels like whatever that is.
Yeah.
It almost feels like that's what this character has been experiencing the last
Yeah.
couple years, and uh, I've gotten good at sitting with it and just not judging it and just
Yeah.
letting things happen.
Yeah.
But there's days where I'm like, fuck, this is intense. This is
Yeah.
really intense.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah. So and yesterday, I was just laying down taking a nap, and I told myself I wasn't gonna look up another video to like help what I was feeling. Yeah, but the
Yeah.
one word that came to mind was like, this is unbearable, and I went on YouTube, and I just typed in unbearable non-duality, and I saw it. One your videos came up of, and it was like the unbearable nature of seeking what's already this,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and it really cut through for the first time. I feel like I have a tendency of comparing things I've learned from other speakers and being like, okay,
Yeah.
well, this person said this, so is what Emerson is saying, is it the same as what they're saying? And
Yeah.
I I have a very tough time of just not doing that.
Yeah.
And but finally, what you said in the video yesterday about essentially everything that I'm looking for is all there is. All there is what I'm looking for,
Yeah. Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
and 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 even what's looking is what
Is
is sought.
already. Yes. And it's
Is
so hard to understand it, but it's not about understanding that, right? It's not about even what I say or other speakers say or teachers say. It's despite of that. And this is nothing better or worse or anything, but what's usually happens, and this is just a story again, is when um
yeah,
so this is kind of like the end of the road stop sign, kind of like non-duality speaker. Not better or worse, but this is kind of like the end of specialness of seeking. It's the end of seeking, basically. And
yeah,
I'm going to ask you a couple more questions, saying,
yeah.
so what's your spiritual background, or what are you into right now? Just to see what it's kind of like. You're going to a dentist. We're going to take away some tartars out.
Okay, okay. Kurt, I'll say my background was I was raised Catholic, but it wasn't ever pressed upon me very strictly with
Yeah,
my by my
yeah.
so
But
it's almost
but
it's almost not
foundationally, it's
it,
like sin and suffering and atonement.
yeah,
I
yeah,
was born I was baptized Roman Catholic when I was a little kid, when I was a baby. Yeah, so
got it. Okay.
similar. Yeah,
Yeah. And what's funny is though, even though that wasn't something that was like a big agenda for my family,
Mhm.
like we like went to church on Christmas and that was it, you know.
Yeah,
Uh,
lucky.
I
Yeah.
I and it's funny, I've never really, I've said this maybe to my wife and a couple people, but I went through like a very long period of praying to Jesus to even though religion wasn't something I practice,
Yeah,
I felt this connection with source somewhere else.
yeah,
It
yeah,
wasn't me, something else that I could connect with.
yeah,
And you know, I'd go to bed every night and I would say prayers of like, I just want like a good job and you know, life to work
yeah,
out. And I did that. I did
yeah,
that religion. And I think it's funny, like you could almost argue that I manifested the things that I have now, but
yeah,
like
yeah,
obviously that's a story, but like it's funny. I got into this, um, I don't know if you want to call it a trap, but this tendency to talk to something else that I thought was more supreme than what was already here,
yeah, yeah,
and this division. I think at an early age I actually
yeah,
established, me knowing it, I
yeah,
established separation very well and very clearly. Um, so I think for a while I lived with this idea that whatever it is I'm looking for,
yeah.
or whoever is God, or who's running the show here,
Hmm.
it's somewhere in the distance. It's not here.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. And that's the same
and,
here
and
too.
yeah,
Yeah,
and and it's crazy because you know it's like punching a punching bag for so long trying to find the answers until
yeah.
I'm realizing that like the answer is the punching of the punching bag. It's
Yeah,
you know, it's like how long can I hit my head against a wall trying to figure this out before I
yeah,
realize that there's no one on the other side of here like listening to my misery. It's all just this.
yeah,
And I think I'm, and not to jump ahead, but I think that was my religious back or spiritual background.
yeah,
And then I moved out to LA 8 years ago, kind of had some bouts for the first time with real serious mental health and
yeah.
depression, anxiety. And I was like,
Hmm.
what is this? Like, I'll take medication, but like, what is this? I want to get deeper and not deal with this anymore. I just don't want to take pills my whole life and like whatever.
Yeah,
And I started looking at videos, and it started with the power of now. And then it
yeah.
went to guys like Osho and
The usual
uh,
suspects.
the usual suspects. Yeah.
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 You
And
get
so
you
I don't
got
want to
Eckhart, Osho, and then maybe Muji a little bit, maybe Rupert.
Muji, Rupert, who I
Yeah,
think are all very beautiful speakers of
yeah.
this, but it's like at some point I can't keep, and this is going to be a weird way to say this, I can't keep dating these guys. I can't keep, I can't keep them around this long. You know, like I got to cut them off. And yeah, I'm at that point now where I'm like, and even though I love speaking with you right now, this is
Yeah.
great. At some point, I would love to also cut you off and not have to
Um,
talk about
yeah.
this anymore. Do you know
I'm
what I
gonna sh
mean?
I'm gonna share. I just got this like minutes ago. I'm gonna share you something that's really, really funny, right? So, there's this guy that sent me a letter, and where is it? Oh no, I can't find it now. Just a second, okay? Because
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
going this you're gonna laugh at this, right? So,
Okay.
he goes. Emerson, hi Emerson, you have had such a profound impact on me that is so hard to explain. I should mention in your one-on-ones, you're my stop sign. What a weird thing to say to another man. So we're here to break up. You know what I'm saying?
Right, 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 right.
maybe one more date or two more dates and that's it. You know what I'm saying? So this
Right,
is the
whatever.
stop sign. Yeah. This is the
Yeah.
stop sign. What I usually can like you know what this speaker says is always that this is the end of the road. This is already the case. And there's nothing that you can do or not do to change what is already. And And this is the end of that hierarchy of higher power or source, or and then you transfer that to father figures like Rupert and Muji and Eckhart. So this is like the dissolution of that. This is the end of that structure. So this structure basically is the emptiness, that there is just this equanimity. You know what I'm saying? There's no you. If there's no one here, I already see no one there. There's nothing that needs to drop away. There's nothing that you need to do. It's just an illumination that there's really nothing needed. And it's not in the words that I say, but it helps you tell your story so that it can start falling apart. But go ahead, continue. Yeah, I just wanted to share that thing with that guy.
Yeah, that's funny timing. Yeah. I really resonate with the, and forgive me, I'm kind of jumping all over the place,
No
but
worries, no worries. Jump
I really,
around.
okay, good. I resonate with the, out of all the metaphors and the sort of like language that is used on this subject, I love the idea of the ocean and how everything is a wave in
Yeah.
the one.
Yeah.
And for example, like that's really cut through to me before, but the problem is, and I know it's just what is, so
Yeah.
I almost know what you're gonna say to everything I'm about to say. I'm gonna say it anyways, though. Like,
Say.
I'll be walking down the street driving my car, and I'll keep that insight of the ocean in my head, like
Yeah.
everything, the ocean, and I'm the wave, and that's that dog over there. That's the wave also walking, and that woman, that's the wave
Yeah.
too. But what happens is I'm not living life anymore. I'm just in my mental.
Yeah.
I'm
So let's,
understanding. You
yeah.
know what
So
I'm
go
saying?
ahead. Yeah.
I'm just circling around this idea, and it feels like as much as I can like intellectualize, like that's not a word, but uh, um, I can
Conceptualize.
talk. Yeah, I can conceptualize this very well
Yeah.
and get it.
Yeah.
I don't. It doesn't feel like it's an implemented part of my life now, or
Yeah.
or life, I should say.
Yeah.
And I want to get to the point where I'm not thinking of this anymore, and it's just happening, and I know it to be true, instead of me having to convince myself again and again and again that, oh, it is the case that we are the ocean. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Let's
it's
garbage
so
that for a
exhausting.
moment.
It's
Let's
so
just garbage that for a moment and let's revise that. So let's just update it completely. So, for example, you're longing for
okay.
that deep, still, peaceful ocean. You know what I'm saying? So that deep, peaceful ocean um, is serene. It's everything that you're looking for. But the moment that you start seeking, so you're looking for that ocean, but the moment you start seeking, it's like using a 16 horsepower motorboat to cut through the ocean. So it roars, it cuts through this like really, really kind of like peaceful ocean. You're overlooking that you're on it already.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the motor dies,
Mm-hmm.
when you ran out of gas, you're like, oh, it's here. And then the engine starts again. You're like, well, I don't want to miss this, right? So you start, running the motorboat again. But the key is, it doesn't matter if the motorboat is running, it's still in the ocean or not. Let's just say that the motorboat is the wave.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So it doesn't
I like what you
matter.
said. When the when the motor dies, you realize you're on it. AK, when seeking dies, you.
Yeah. Or it happens
Yeah.
all the time. For example, you're a musician, right? So, when you get to that zone, in front of people, there's just like this serenity and everything. And then Mike comes back, you know what I'm saying? That, oh, I should have done that better. Or, saying like, oh, I screwed up, I
Yeah.
whatever. So that's what it is.
Yeah.
But that's also it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I like meeting, although there's no one there, I like meeting people where they're at. And where you're at, basically, it's almost like you're a sadomasochist. You're like an S&M speaker.
Yeah.
Because it's from that background of being a Catholic, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I did too. Um, so when I got that enlightenment, so to speak, when I saw everything as this whole whatever, you know what I'm saying, that every sage is talking about, I saw God, you know what I'm saying? But that was my claim now. I didn't really see anything. What I saw was the unknowable. That's not apart
Mm-hmm.
from me. But because the motorboat starts running again, it declares that it saw God, right? And to maintain that, seeing of God, it practiced how to keep the motorboat running really, really soft. So that
But
it, yeah, it's a coasting, right? But sometimes when the waves come in, like big waves come in, like your mom or dad gets sick and everything, um, then no matter what, you're trying to keep that engine really, really, like that motorboat running really smoothly and everything. It's still a wave, but you're missing that. That's also it.
mm,
So I'm like, how do I flatten this wave? Because you know what? I'm on this really smooth ride now. And that's what Osho and everybody else is that's the incompleteness. They don't talk about the big waves and the tsunamis and you know what I'm saying, all that kind of stuff, and the storms and
yeah.
everything. So what this is confronting what is, no matter what it is. It's a sobriety from the idea that there's something that needs to happen next.
Mm-hmm.
There's really no next
Mm-hmm.
outside of a thought. So let's just do this. What are you looking right now? If you cannot use the motorboat, you cannot use a thought, you cannot use um words, Mike. What are you looking at?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In this nothingness, not as an idea, this is the absence of idea, seeing without thoughts. Um, is there any problem?
Mm,
No. Is there anything missing?
mm-mm.
Is this all the silence that's been longed for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, and I feel like such a schmuck for wanting to ask a question about that because it's just gonna be more story,
It's just more
but
motorboating.
more motorboat. Yeah, but I do know, and I'm
But
not
it's
trying to
okay.
like.
But it's okay. It's all right. Yeah. Ask away, man. That's okay.
Thanks. Okay,
That's
thank
what I'm
you.
here for, right? So
Yeah, right, right. When inevitably there's a voice that comes back and says, "Nah, you know what? We got to keep going a little longer." Um, I know there's no one here
yeah,
who's going to surrender to that and just let it
yeah,
be.
yeah,
But can you give it advice on when that sense of me comes back,
yeah.
what to do? I know
Yeah,
that's not even
there's nothing that you can do or not do, but I'm gonna give you this clarity. Every
yeah,
single thought is irrelevant. It's completely irrelevant because it's already silent. It's just silence appearing as thoughts, really.
because they're empty thoughts.
They're empty thoughts. There's and if you really look behind a thought, what's behind the thought is just more thoughts. And then you're like, but that's me, that's another thought. So it's just a thought behind a thought, maintaining a thought to maintain the thought that you are real, which is just a thought. To maintain a reality that there's a problem, which is just a thought, to maintain something. So when you see right through it, like when you see like, oh shit, it's thoughts all the way down. There's no figuring it out. It's all empty. I used to go into panic attacks because I would be chasing a thought. I'm like, oh my goodness, you know what? I'm gonna fall apart, all this kind of stuff, and I would have all of these thoughts but unexamined, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like the filter of thoughts creates this illusion of separation. Without any thoughts, is there a separation? But it's not about letting go of any thoughts because that just maintains that the thoughts are real. It's just seeing the irrelevance of it. It's just the irrelevance of it. It's like grocery shopping. You know what I'm saying? If you're like, oh, I need peanut butter. And then
Right.
you go home and you're like, oh, I forgot peanut butter. Again, I'm going to repeat, right? In the absence of thoughts, if you are not able to use that because it's irrelevant, it's meaningless. You'll hear speakers say that all words are meaningless. This is hopeless. It should be a celebration. It should be like, oh shit, it's already what it is. This is it already. And this is basically like kind of like this is kind of like you got a way now. You know what I'm saying? This is a way out. Although there's no you, this is a way out of seeking, is what I'm trying to tell you. And if you want to go back into some gurus and teachers, and there's nothing wrong or right about that, you'll just keep on going in circles. You'll never get into that position because that's their role. You know what I'm saying? um, unless you start, doing your offshoot of it and everything. So this is basically saying that there's really no speaker here. This is just a friend. This is just the one that got out. You know what I'm saying? That has liberation. You know what I'm saying? In its purest essence, right? Because I'm not stuck with anything, not with any communication, not with any teaching. But I also see just liberation there, even if there's a stuckness there. So all that this meeting basically is doing is just doing the unstuckness. That's why I'm kind of like asking you. Another thing that I'm going to ask you is this: what's looking behind those eyes and what's being looked at?
There's nothing behind these eyes.
Yeah.
There's nothing behind your eyes.
Yeah. So there it is. So what's looking is being looked at. What's being looked at is what's looking is what's being looked at. And again, if we
there is no seer in the scene. There's just
no. Again, this is just a really brilliant illusion, right? Here we are in this appearance of this seeming kind of like, separation that is guarded by words. But if you look up words, every single word is made up. It's a very intricate illusion, so even these words are completely illusory. It's like, having a dream and you're speaking French and you're eating a baguette on top of the Eiffel Tower. You don't question it. And then when you wake up, you're like, oh, wow. Nothing really happened. But in that dream, when you're in that dream, you don't question that. You're like, why am I speaking French and eating a baguette on top of the Eiffel Tower? It doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
This
Mm-hmm.
doesn't make sense as well, but the thought tries to make sense of it. So this is basically, wonderful anarchy that's appearing. It's a splash of colors when this is really colorless. It's a whole bunch of it's a bunch of sound, when it's really silent. So it's silence dreaming of sounds. Um, and this is going to sound crazy, to be honest with you, right? But it is kind of like, when I saw that there's really no one talking, no one behind this voice, this is just all appearing out of nowhere. Same with you. And this is coming, and this doesn't even have a source. And that's what's confusing, is because it doesn't have a source. It doesn't have a creator, because that's a construct. What this is just this unthinkable, infinite appearance of whatever seems to appear right now. And it's beyond anything that you can think of. It cannot be comprehended by thought, by the mind or the you and everything. But the thing is that not you as a thought, but you are everything, not as an idea. So what you're looking at is you, basically, but not your idea of what you are. And before it goes into grandiose ideas of I am the awareness or the source and everything, cut that as well. It's so beautiful not knowing what this is. It's like, it's and I sense that sometimes, when I would play and DJ and talk and everything, I'll be looking at the sea of faces, and I didn't see any separation whatsoever. And I would say that I'm like, oh man, that was beautiful. I don't know, it's just there's this. So we're like that. Every time that you think, you're dreaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even thought, though, is this.
Yes, it is as well. That's what it is, right? Everything is it. Everything
So
is it. You're
I
good.
think
Yeah.
that I think that's one thing I just wanted to touch on, because I
Yeah,
think
yeah, for sure.
I've grown to look at thoughts as the bad guys, and
Yeah,
even
me too.
you know, and even though they they are what is also,
Yeah.
I've learned to be like, well, you guys are what is, but get out of here. And
Yeah. And you know what? Then that's the thing sometimes with spirituality. That's why I'm out of spirituality. You know, if you notice, this is not even non-duality anymore. This is just direct. Um, this is like
yeah,
getting out of a cult of belief systems and everything.
yes,
Yeah. I,
yes.
I seem to get tagged as non-duality, but you know, and I like it sometimes, but this is so direct that it actually points out that the words and everything are just all illusory. So good and bad are just words that seems to create this opposition, meaning that they're irrelevant. So there's nothing wrong or right about thoughts. There's also nothing wrong about, you know, thinking that these are bad thoughts or good thoughts. And that's also it. It's always it, no matter what it is. But that's why it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant even when it feels relevant. It's like air. It's the perfect example of it is like you'll have a massive dream and you think it's relevant, but the moment that you wake up, none of it happened. This is the same as thoughts. So awakeness and seeing that the thoughts are all dead already. They're meaningless.
Mm-hmm.
They're useful as a GPS, you know what I'm saying? If you're talking in this appearance of duality and somebody tells you that, hey, what are you doing tonight? I'm like, oh, just chilling, that kind of thing. It's just that, right? But it's all empty. It's it's
I think
it's it's like an elaborate like Sim City game, but there's no creator or there's no player.
right.
Yeah.
I think what my mind tries to come back and rebuttal to what you just said
Yeah,
is
go ahead. Please go ahead. Yeah.
it is if thoughts are also it. Well,
Yeah.
it's almost yeah, if thoughts are also it,
Mhm.
then why does it feel so bad to follow thoughts? Like if thoughts are also what is,
Well, it is not really it. It's also it is not an it at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So
right,
that's another
right.
position.
It's not
It's
here, but
irrelevant. It's irrelevant. Yeah. So I'm
but you
gonna
can't deny that
sorry,
that
go
there
ahead.
is a thought there. Do you know? Yeah, like a
Yeah.
thought is not here, but
Yeah.
you also can't deny that it's it's somewhere, and you can notice it.
But that's just a thought about a thought, isn't it?
I know. You're right. I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, that just
But
maintains that there is a thought that's relevant or real. So you're making the unreal real by correct saying that, well, you can't deny it, that there's always going to be this thoughts and everything. It's neither a denial and acceptance. It's just that's what I mean, that it's irrelevant. It doesn't really need inquiry or trying to figure out, right? So I'm gonna say this. So Mike is just a thought. So Mike, all that Mike will do is maintain a thought that it's separate and it's real and it's automatic. And that's all that it will do. But when you see the irrelevance of that, when you see that that's just all made up, it's like a dream character, you know what I'm saying? That will just say a whole bunch of world. It feels absolutely real, but it's also not real at the same time. Then it doesn't matter about trying to control the thoughts. It just becomes irrelevant. Um, and there's nothing wrong with thoughts of getting rid of them because they're not even there really. They're there and not there.
mhm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Someone asked me, I've had this clarity for about 6 years now, or maybe five, I can't remember. I'm really not really good with memory anymore. Um,
Hmm.
and someone, do you still have thoughts? I'm like, I haven't thought about it. Meaning I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I walk in the morning.
Ask you. I was going to ask you, like,
Yeah.
do you have thoughts, or the character of Emerson has thoughts? And now I guess maybe I'll phrase that question
Yeah,
differently
sure.
than that person did. Are thoughts for you, and I know I'm contradicting myself with language, but
That's okay. That's okay.
are thoughts for you now as equal of an appearance as the snapping of a finger, to the point
Yeah.
where you there is no distinction of, oh, that's
No.
the bad thought. It's just It
No,
could be it's the equivalent of a bird flying in the sky,
that's it.
or
That's it.
it's
Yeah.
the okay.
That's it. So for example, in the morning, what I notice, and I'm just trying to share this in thoughts right now, but and this is just a story as well, right? So in the morning I get up, my dog cuddles with me. I put on, and I go for like a 2-3 hour walk. And I'm so surprised that there's really no thoughts. I started recording it because I'm like, oh, beautiful. Like it's just like a little kid that's going around, you know what I'm saying? Because you'll notice that too when you in the morning, when you wake up from a dream, there's just this emptiness. And then the thought claims it, like the thought name Mike claims it again and will say that, oh, that was a really awesome dream. So it creates another separation. But what never leaves is that emptiness that's always there. That awakeness is always here. That's what I'm trying to say. If you're not able to use the words, I'm just kind of like trying to illuminate that, like this is lucid dreaming right now, even though it's um trying to make it look like that there's still no one there or someone there. It doesn't matter. Again, what if you're looking at this and you're not able to access Mike at all, which is just a thought, which is your whole mind, your all whatever thought thinking. There's this something that's not moving here. There's something that's immovable. There's something that is at peace no matter what you think or not think. And that can never change. That's what's awake. It's always awake already. Not you, because you go to sleep and you wake up and everything. The thought of you anyway. When you're doing something you love, you don't even think of it. It just happens all on its own. So that thing that never moves appears as Mike, appears as thoughts, appears as whatever. So it's not separate from what's not moving. Or, let's just call it the infinite, because she can't think of the infinite. So the infinite is always here. Not as a source, not as a being, not as an identity, something unthinkable. The problem is, although it's not really a problem, is the error is, although it's not really an error, is when you think of what cannot be thought about, and that drives madness sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, because I try and think of awareness, and I hate even
I don't
and
even
now
use
I
that
just
word
hate that.
anymore. Yeah, I don't use that word yet. Yeah.
I'm so exhausted from even bringing. Yeah. So let's not even talk about that. But um, I just, yeah,
Yeah,
it's like it's so right here.
it
Why would I
is.
have
Yeah,
to
it's
or
right
think about?
here. You don't have to think about it. I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. It's always been here. So when I do this meeting, I'm actually looking at what is already. And what is making all the excuses that it's not what is or whatever, it's but it's a play and I see it. I see it clearly now. Right now. I'm saying? What is looking back at what is, and it's silent, what I'm saying? And all of these words are flying back and forth, but that's also what is. The characters, the ideas, the dream, Mike, what I'm saying? All of that is what is just appearing in this conundrum that it's not. How can it know what it is when it's never been separate? That's the thing. You're trying to figure out something that's nothing to do with figuring out. You're trying to see something that you don't need to be aware of. So what seems to be appearing is what is appearing as vision, appearing as smell, appearing as Mike, appearing as thoughts of Mike. What is appearing as the ceiling, the air. It's in everything. What seems to be longed for seems to be missing because it's in everything. You can't just focus on everything. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? Yeah. It's
right.
in everything. It's everything. And it's incomprehensible how the magnitude of this apparent illusion that appears as reality, and it collapses every night. Or when you black out drinking.
Yeah,
And then it seems to recreate all of a sudden, in the morning, you're like, it's I've had this, and this is just a tall tale of story, right? I was walking one misty day and I just saw everything just appearing and was almost in delay. I'm like, oh shit, I'm catching it. Like it's almost like, like there's simultaneous walking and it's like everything is just appearing, kind of like a, but again, that's just another illusion and everything, right? But it's almost like
Yeah.
showing what it is. And it's just wild. It's wild. You know what I'm saying? And and through getting to try to know it will drive anyone mad and suffering and everything because it is already what's in everything. You are it. Everything is it. You know what I'm saying? Even when you're sleeping, it's it. It cannot disappear. It's eternal. It's infinite. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, let's just even try to take all the spiritual, but I have no choice to use those words. But these words cannot comprehend what this is. It's wild. It's wild, right? It's going to appear like 80 years or 100 years of Mike going through life and everything. But do you want to wait until your deathbed to figure out what this is?
No.
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 So yeah, so this is it and not it simultaneously.
Yeah, like it feels like right now it's so smack dab like
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
It can just shut you up almost,
Yes.
if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
Like
it doesn't even need a conversation, right? It's like, and that silence gets louder seemingly until deafening. And it deafens all of the thoughts that you think that you have. You know what I'm saying? All of that kind of stuff. And again, this is just talk. There's not even a need to talk. It's always here. Now, do you see that this is the stop sign? Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah. what I was what I was about to say is I just I just hope I don't forget this when I
No,
get
no,
off the.
no, no, no. You know what? This is once it's seen, saying it cannot be unseen. But sometimes because the character, the me, the ego, whatever, when it's being shown its death, comes back shrieking, right? You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't want to die sometimes, right? So it but it's already done. This is the peace that passeth all understanding. I'm
Right.
going to give you my WhatsApp number so you can contact me anytime. If you're able to afford it, book another one. You know what I'm saying? As soon as possible.
I would love to. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I wanna. Although there's no one here and there's no one there, I wanna be there for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's
Thank,
I know
thank you.
this. I know this. This can be one of the guy that I was, that I broke up with already. He said that, um, yeah, he had no idea because he was doing a whole bunch of transcendental meditation, and he didn't understand why he was suffering. You know what I'm saying? Because he was always looking for something. And then when he said it was in the first meeting, but it's almost like I needed a holding hand to go through it, right? Because it's kind of scary a little bit because it's showing you that, do you have I looked at your Instagram, and
Mm,
and then you have a beautiful wife and a baby. Oh my goodness. When the filters
thank
are off, when you see that, when is your baby born?
you. She'll be due in January, so we're a few weeks from now.
Oh my goodness. That's the, you know what? And this
Yeah.
is the story. I love my nephews and nieces because I just see the purity of what is. So it's going to be the
Right.
best blessing, right? Even the crying, the changing of
Right.
the diaper is what is. So it's just what is basically kind of like creating what is in the illusion, because what is does not really create. It's an illusion.
Right.
But you can look, you basically have the infinite as a baby.
Right. Right. Like little Buddha.
Yeah. Or your wife as the infinite as well, right? It's like,
Yes. 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 Yes.
yeah. Wow. What a,
Yeah.
no wonder you're going through this like dark night of the soul, saying. And so I'm glad that
Yeah.
I'm glad you found the Grim Ripper of non-duality.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It, I had this story of just, oh, I can't keep doing this once my baby's born. I can't keep.
Yeah.
It's like there's got to be it felt like the shot clock was about to, like the timer had to be coming off on the seeking, because there's
Yeah.
such a big life approaching. I was like, there's no way
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep this once this baby arrives. Like
Yeah.
I gotta snap out of this. And again, that's just what is. I'm
That's
seeing
just
that
what
right.
is. It will appear as this synchronistic story as well. You know what I'm saying? It's going to appear as whatever, right? It's so playful what this is. It's like, it's basically, you know what, this is a Noah, but it's the most innocent, playful child that
Mhm.
does not know, no, it doesn't know evil or good. You know what I'm saying? So everything is it. And it's beautiful, right? It's beautiful. And it's just, I did a one-on-one maybe about a year ago. Someone that's going through the same thing with you, basically a father, and the baby was born, and yeah, he messages me all the time that it's like, wow, 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 wow. So getting lost in the infinite eyes of infinity, you know what I'm saying? It's just what is. There's no there's no practice needed, but if practice happens, I don't really agree with it, but you know what? It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? This is not about practicing, because it just reinforces something that it already is. But if it
Is it?
relaxes you, if it
Yeah,
relaxes you, that's okay.
it's really non-judgment is what we're talking about, right?
Yes, it
Like,
is. It's unconditional. We're talking about unconditional love. Now
yes,
now you just basically had a direct contact with unconditional love, which is yourself, basically. Not your idea, not your thoughts, not your illusion, but the absence of you is you.
yeah,
I like that actually. I've never
yeah.
said that. Yeah.
Because if
It has nothing to do with you. Did you see that now? It has nothing to do with you. And almost like the thoughts are almost like it's almost like um a manipulation and a negotiation that this is not it. But those thoughts doesn't matter. That's why they're all irrelevant, because it will try to maintain a reality that it is, that it is the mind, the me, or whatever, or awareness or consciousness. You know what? It's all BS. It's an
yeah,
innocent,
yeah,
it's all BS. And I don't even have to say that. I know that this is already, it's already seen, right? It's like,
it's very weird. It, the how just in a matter of seconds my urge to ask you more is just
and there's no Grim Reaper. Someone's just been calling me that lately, because it's like, um,
right.
this person is sending a whole bunch of people that part of their sangha, and basically, what, they're coming in, and they're like, what the hell is that? It's just like, and this is freedom. This is freedom without belief, without knowing. It's just empty, isn't it? It's just non-judgment
Once
at all.
once
Yeah.
once this is seen,
Yeah.
did you ever feel like, oh fuck, when is it going to not be seen? Because right now I feel,
Oh yeah, yeah. That's a normal thing to do.
yeah,
It's basically there's going to be some. That's why my you know what, it's not necessary, but if you feel compelled, book right away. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, like in a couple of days or something. Um, because that persistent reality is an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. So that's the illusion that's beginning to trying to go to the back door again, right? To take over, to maintain that this is not it and everything.
mm. Did you ever have that fear of like,
Oh
wow,
yeah.
I have lots
Yeah.
of clarity right now, but how long is it going to last until it's not
Oh
here
yeah,
anymore? Did
totally. You know what? The lucky thing that happened to me was I've already had this clarity coming in and out, like I was glimpsing like nonstop, and I was just so sick of it. I didn't even want a glimpse anymore. I was just so tired of it. I was just suffering. I was like in bed, depressed. I was suicidal months before, right? And I kept on having directness with it. And I would be like negotiating it. I'm like, okay, when is it going to, what if the me comes back? So that's another part of it, right? When is this me going to come back? So just kept on. But what happened was when I just come I give up on non-duality. So one of my old students contacted me. They basically said, hey, we really miss you. It's been a couple of years. Can you do a retreat for us? And I'm like, yeah, we can do a silent retreat and everything. But guess what happened? I fell. The Emerson was gone a couple of days, so I had to cancel the retreat. So I had this place for a whole month. Basically, I was silenced. So every time that a thought would come up, it was madness, right? Because it was almost like I'm like, or one time what I did was I tried to drink myself silly to see it would still be there. I was jeopardizing it because I can't believe that it's just this simple. And then I woke up
Yeah.
the next morning. I'm like, I have a hangover, but this is also it. Fuck. It's really this. So it could appear as anything, you know what I'm saying? Um, and it's
My mind right now wants to question if this is what I've always been looking for, but I can instinctually feel
yeah,
a lot of silence right now.
yeah, that's it.
Um, and so there's my answer, I guess. But it's
Yeah.
just funny. It's just funny how I still notice this mind being like, are we sure we're here? Are we sure this is what?
And of course, that's always, but it's kind of like what I said, it's irrelevant. All thoughts are irrelevant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
This is almost like,
yeah,
like basically, in a story again, Mike was a contraction, basically, like a knot. And now it's unknotted, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it,
You
yeah, it
feel,
feels like an untangling of,
yeah.
and it almost feels like a little um disorienting in a way.
Yeah.
Not not in a scary way, but just like this is so different,
Yeah. But the same at the same time.
but the same at this
Yeah.
right, the same at the same.
Yeah. It's almost like, why did I not see this? It's like when I was like, what the hell? It's always been here.
Yeah,
It's like a big
yeah,
plot twist, right? You're like, but it's also gentle. You're like, oh shit, this is never left.
yeah.
Yeah, this is always here.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Isn't it?
You know what I just noticed? I was just looking around, and it was as if you weren't here anymore.
Yeah.
I had to look back here to know that we were still on the call, and
Yeah.
not in a way that is like, oh my gosh, am I delirious or something, but how everything in your attention, like, this is all there is. And then when I come back, this is all there is. And then, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
It's so funny, right? Just like, like about an hour ago, you're like, oh man, and
Yeah.
it was so heavy, right? It was just so heavy. It was so heavy. It's almost like, like you came here with like a lot of baggage full of rocks, right? Where's that rock now? Where's the baggage now? Wow, huh? That's why I always say it's like carrying a backpack of rocks, and I'd even know where it went.
Right. That's a good way of saying it, because I couldn't even answer that question. It's I guess it just speaks to the like ephemeral nature of thought, how
Yeah.
it's not like we placed that rock to the side and
Yes.
now
It just
it's the rock never was there.
it was never there. There you go. It's like the contraction was never there. the idea of Mike was never there.
Yeah. Ooh, okay. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but it seems it's fine. It's totally fine. So I guess
Rest in
yeah.
peace, brother.
Yeah. Or like I heard someone say one time, don't disturb the peace or mind your own business or not mind your own business, but yeah, just rest in peace. That's what it is.
Don't disturb the dead.
Right.
Something like that.
Right. Right.
It's shocking though that of how ordinary it is.
Yeah.
I had another guy that was so funny, right? Because we were like just going through it, and he was like, and he was just stunned. It was just stunning, right? But he kept on negotiating, and I was like, dude, if you're like a master negotiator, you know what? You should be working for the police, trying to get a lot of those people, you know, in hostages and everything, those movies. So like, you'll be perfect for you. He goes, yeah. So that's what the seeker is, a master negotiator, right? It tries to
Yeah.
negotiate separation. Yeah.
I just feel like I'm out of right now. I'm just out of
That seeking thing completely, right?
chess moves and
Yes.
negotiating. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing wrong with what is.
It's checkmate now, right? It's done.
Yeah. Yeah. At least I think so.
See,
I mean,
that's
I
the
know that's
negotiator. Yeah.
but what's funny is I just said that and I
Yeah.
felt how empty that was.
Yes.
Like that was different for me. Um, okay. Okay. I'm gonna
I'm gonna stop the recording.